Hey, it's Soul with another video, and today I can finally squeeze in a little preview of player housing in the world of Warcraft. Oh, that's nice to say. I'm going to take you through most of what we know with a sprinkle of commentary and input. Throughout the Midnight Alpha and Beta, as significant changes or additions are included, I'll be sure to share my findings with you. Of course, keep in mind the information and gameplay flow you see is more than likely going to change as we go. Use the navigation below to get to what might interest you. Please like the video, subscribe for more WoW coverage, and catch me live where I'm streaming. Let's begin with how to get started with housing. There are virtually no barriers, whether you're a 21-year veteran of the game or if you're picking up World of Warcraft for the very first time because, oh, hey, we can make a house now, how about that? Veterans will log in and be presented with a quest, and can activate a new UI to simply teleport to a neighborhood and choose a home. We'll get back to that in a bit. Brand new players are funneled into a starting experience where they get the most basic of combat tutorials, and then, spoiler alert, they end up shipwrecked on a beach. They'll be immediately presented with a choice to either continue on with the starting experience or to skip it and get whisked off to a neighborhood and have their level boosted to 10. Across the Battle.net account, we can own one house per faction, one in a Horde neighborhood and one in an Alliance neighborhood. All you need to do really is get on a faction appropriate character and then go through the motions of buying your first house. Currently on the alpha, there's a gold cost to purchasing your first home, but we did get word from the developers that our first house will have virtually no cost, making this very friendly for new players. Relocating our house though, that'll probably have some cost or some other friction associated with it. During this intro, players will be directed to the housing dashboard, which includes this button here to take you to the home of your choice. Use the pull down above to switch between your two houses if you have two, and click the button to head over there. This Hearthstone kind of button has a 15-minute cooldown. And it doesn't matter which faction character you're logged onto, anyone can visit whoever's house. So an early tip to consider, have one character per house, just always be there. So when you feel like working on your house one day, you don't need to bring your main over if you don't want to, and from testing, it appears that those who run multiple accounts can visit housing simultaneously, unlike other features like the Warbank, which locks out all other accounts. I mean, why you would do this though? Maybe for machinima purposes, but oh well. Leveling and endeavors don't seem to be functional in the alpha, and in the interest of fairness, it probably won't be available until Midnight's pre-patch or the official launch. But as you can see, doing activities related to housing will get us XP. It'll let us make our house bigger and can put up more decorations or decor. Up top there is the House Finder, which lets you sift through public neighborhoods to choose a spot on the map. You can refresh this list to look for open slots or just find a cool name for your neighborhood. You can select one of these icons on the map to verify that it's available for purchase, and then teleport directly to that lot, and it's a simple matter of talking to these markers and buy the house. Back to the House Finder, we can also type in someone's battle tag and visit their house. You can also do this through the friend list, although at this time the easy visit button is designed for Battle.net friends and not regular friends. The button itself also doesn't work at the moment, so I guess we'll check out Mr. GM's place some other time. The developers were mostly on the mark when they say anyone can have a house in the place that they want. It'll just take a bit of searching through the public neighborhoods to find a spot you like. Now, if you're to choose to join or make a private neighborhood, your community will have to deal with demand for desired plots and limited selections. It's only a bit more flexible in guild neighborhoods, where in theory they can include 1,000 homes because the game will just spin up more layers to suit the large population who at least wants to stay together. The twist is a certain number of plots need to be filled before the game spins up an additional neighborhood layer for the guild. I'm not sure how well this will go in practice, but we'll have to see. Before we go inside the house, let's take a look at the neighborhoods themselves, starting with the Horde neighborhood, Razorwind Shores. There's a few major biomes to pay attention to. There's the good old dry and rocky terrain. This is also the same biome as the center square where all sorts of activities will take place, and there are vendors to potentially sell more decor. Towards the west is a more tropical jungle-like biome that melds into a beach biome, which is also strongly present to the east. At higher elevations and towards the northeast is the more autumny Ashara biome. The northeast is especially thicker with the abundance of trees, and from a far angle you can sort of tell the difference between this and other biomes based on the kinds of trees present. Finally, there's a biome that looks more like a Barrens Given Life kind of vibe. The Alliance neighborhood, Founders Point, it doesn't quite share the contrasting biomes the Horde has, but it has this very cozy feel in comparison, although that's just my opinion. Trees are all over the place, especially in the Elwyn Forest biome. To the south is a more autumn kind of feel, if that's your thing. East of that is a darker and thicker forest that gives off a night elf and duskwood sort of feeling. Going north takes us to what feels like the highlands, and shooting all the way west again is a spattering of homes available for those who want to be close to the water. Other homes that are kind of near the coast are more like overlooks. Alright, let's head to my terrible, terrible house. It's full of little experiments that I wanted to share. When entering here for the very first time, you'll get a tutorial taking you through the very basics of adding and removing items, understanding item budget, and that's about it. At the start, we have a very modest item level budget of 300 units. This budget gets chipped away with every piece of decor we lay down, and each item is assigned a certain value. This is our house chest, which contains all the items we've acquired, and as you can see, each item has a different value based on a few factors. Large pieces that help to reshape the house have a value of 5, smaller pieces have a value of 3, and much smaller doodads only cost 1. With these values, even with what looks like only a few items, I might easily blow through my budget and be left wanting until I can gain some housing levels. It's pretty limiting, like trying to make a room like this involves throwing down a bunch of walls that alone will max out our current limit. We should expect the first homes we make to be pretty modest, with limited presentation and creativity, but I also get behind the idea of wanting to avoid overwhelming us with like this massive building space when we're just trying to learn how everything works. Housing isn't a seasonal game with a race. I trust there's going to be people who love housing but also keep their home pretty intimate and cozy, as in small, long after they've unlocked tons of decor and can add multiple extensions because maybe they're just happy with what they've got. The controls take some getting used to, but getting started is a cinch. The main controls include basic, advanced, customization, and then cleanup. With the editor open, you can just select what you want and use your mouse to guide it to where you want it to be. Let's try messing with this box. In decorate mode, just click the box and now it follows my mouse for me to place it wherever. Use the mouse wheel for basic rotation along the x-axis. Now notice how it's moving across a grid, segment by segment. I can toggle the grid movement off so I can just place this wherever I like with fewer restrictions. There's also a clipping on and off mode in case we want to fuse items into the ground or to the wall or other items to mess with our imaginations. Advanced mode gives us more detailed control over our decor. Toggle it and now our tools change a bit. Let's select the box again and the move option, and now we can see these arrows. Mouse over and click the direction you want to go on the axis. You can slide left and right, up and down. In advanced mode, clipping is enabled and grid movement is disabled automatically so you can fine-tune placement as you like. Other options in advanced mode include rotating. Mouse over to find the axis you want to adjust and then click and drag. Earlier versions of housing showed different colors to distinguish which axis you're manipulating, and hopefully that gets added back in. You can also hold shift to rotate objects in fixed increments to ensure a clean 90-degree rotation, for example. Here in this room of mine, I took what are normally platforms, but I made it into a sort of 3D structure over my bed. Finally, advanced mode lets you resize items up to double their size or a fifth of their size. Next to the bed is some lighting, and you might notice that it's sitting on what's actually a silver moon pillar shrunk down and shot through the floor. Also notice as well that my bed has this kind of light effect. That's thanks to another piece of decor that I just sank into the floor. I just wanted the lighting effect. Thanks. Additional customizations are available for items that can be dyed different colors. Change your interactions to customize mode now and select an eligible item like a window. In this case, we're able to change the frame and metal rivets to whatever we feel like at the cost of dye, which we'll cover elsewhere. Lastly, there's a cleanup mode where with a click you send items back to your chest. You can also select an item and press the R key by default to also send it off into the chest. And far to the right is the floor plan mode, which will let us add, delete, and move rooms. You can set some very quirky layouts, although you are limited to 9 total rooms. Based on what I'm seeing so far though, our bottleneck is definitely the 300 budget limit. Maybe a more generous starting limit would do, but we'll see if they play with the numbers. Here are the privacy settings a lot of folks have been asking about. It's just to the right of the edit button. You can choose the owner's name, which is tied to an existing character in your warband. Press these buttons to set your plot or house access to anyone, no one, or limited, which will let you restrict visitors to needing some sort of loose connection with you, be it your current party, if they're on your friends list, if they're guildmates, or other members of your neighborhood. I noticed there's no battle tag option unless that happens to be what friends is supposed to be, and it looks like the settings will obey your ignore list, which I hope reads every ignore list across all your WoW characters. Let's talk up Decor and Dyes, and this is definitely a good time to remind you all we're still in the alpha. Decor has earned from all sorts of spaces across the past 20 or so years of World of Warcraft, from drops to items sold from reputation vendors to professions and new and old quests and achievements and, oh, you name it. Here's where I'm gonna kind of caught myself out. I'm gonna be super lazy and I'll invite you to check out housing.wowdb.com. It's a site made by the MMO Champion team featuring all the known decor in the alpha. It includes as much information as was provided, like the item budget, where to find or how to craft it, whether it works as both interior or exterior decor, and more, including a 3D model preview. It's positioned to answer all your questions on how to get everything, so you can start to favorite items you want to start hunting for or to sell as soon as early access begins or when housing does its official launch. Furniture dyes are bound to be a hot consumable for decorators aiming for certain matching themes. At the moment, the system is very bare bones and we only have an idea of how this is going to work. Currently on the alpha, around the neighborhood square there's a crafting table designed just for dye crafting. To use it, you need a character that has either alchemy or inscription as their profession, but it doesn't matter what their skill level is. Also, the recipes shown only require herbs from vanilla or the classic category, so I'm pretty confident this is going to change and we'll keep an eye on this, just like how we should be keeping an eye on lumber. I haven't really talked about it and I'm probably not going to until there's like a pretty significant update. Endeavors are the trading post-like vehicle that'll be an ongoing source of decor. It's not testable yet, but data miners have uncovered what endeavors we should expect at least during the 12.0 patch. We learned about Val Shara and Mechagon earlier. Also included will be Eversong Woods, Forbidden Reach, Kunlai Summit, Netherstorm, and the Niffin. So far we're looking at zone-based endeavors, and I'm sure the races who accompany it. Curiously, Niffin are identified by race alone, when we could have seen something like Zeralek Caverns or Ringing Deeps, so I kinda wonder what the distinctions are. With this many endeavors, it feels like we're likely to see repeats, especially from private neighborhoods who will have a choice of which endeavor to pursue. It remains to be seen how much work it's going to take to not just complete an endeavor across the neighborhood, but to earn at least one of everything offered from the vendors. No doubt that even if we've completed an endeavor numerous times in the past, there's still probably going to be reasons to go back because, hey, now I want a few extra chairs. I think that covers quite a bit of housing without overwhelming you too much, although there's still a ways to go. In the weeks ahead, as there are big developments, you can count on me to cover them, give some takes, and invite you to share your own, just like now pretty much. What are some of your early impressions of housing so far? Please like this video, subscribe for more WoW coverage, catch me live, and I'll catch you later. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.